After a brutal weekend against the Cleveland Indians, the Yankees fight for their playoff lives tonight against the Texas Rangers. The offense will look to get going once again, and they will look to support Nestor Cortes, who has been a revelation this season as he continues to pitch well time in and time out. How will he do tonight? Recap, reaction, next. This is Yankees Game Night. All right, up to the minute. We'll do a little bit of a semi-watch party while we do the recap here tonight. Tampa Bay leads the Blue Jays 6-4, but it's the top of the ninth, and the Blue Jays have the bases loaded. So they are threatening. It's 6-4. A base hit could tie the game, force that one into, I guess, a bottom of the ninth situation where the Rays could walk it off, possibly extra innings. I couldn't help but notice a little bit more of a sparse crowd at Yankee Stadium tonight. But, it's been a tough weekend. I can't say I blame the fans, but they did miss a Yankees victory. By the way, if you have a chance to catch the Michael K. Pinstripe Report, rant from his show today, it was spot on. I know I've plugged that a few times this season, but his rants are fantastic. You guys always want me to rant. I can't rant like Michael K. can rant. Luis Severino activated today. Did not get to see him, but hopefully soon. And reminder to vote for the belt winner. We currently have a race between Gary Sanchez, Aaron Judge, Chad Green, and Joely Rodriguez. Rodriguez has never won the belt before. Nestor Cortes put two men in scoring position in the first inning, but he pitched out of it with 3 strikeouts. That was a gutsy performance. He continues to impress me, even though he didn't have his best night tonight. Future former Yankees catcher Gary Sanchez fired the opening salvo with his 22nd home run in the second inning. Solo shot, unfortunately, but no leg kick at all. He hits so much better when he's not doing the leg kick. Just a slight turn of that front knee and then unleashes his hips. I just think it's a much better swing when he does that. He was a lot more aggressive behind the plate tonight. Yankees tack on a couple of runs in the bottom of the third. Judge with an RBI single. Stanton had a sac fly. Glaber made it 4-0 with a 2-out base hit to right field. And look, hanging slider, but that was still a nice piece of hitting for Glaber Torres. Charlie Culberson put the Rangers on the board in the top of the fifth with a solo homer off Cortes to make it 4-1. They get 2 more in the inning. Nestor Cortes knocked out before he could qualify for a win. But Chad Green came in and was terrific tonight. 5 up, 5 down. Best he's looked in weeks. Clay Holmes continued to throw ground balls. Worked a 1-2-3, top of the 7th. He gives me hope for the bullpen next year. Him, Loaizaga, Michael King, maybe Steven Ridings if he gets healthy. Maybe even Albert Abreu if he continues to improve. Joely Rodriguez, that funky lefty. Bullpen could be pretty solid next year. Be interesting to see if they bring Aroldis Chapman back. Joely did a nice job, by the way, getting out of the jam in the top of the 8th. And Chapman closed it down, finished it off. And the Yankees hang the 95th win of the season on the Rangers. Mr. John Sterling.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
And we do have a belt winner. Gary Sanchez picks up the belt, hits his 22nd home run of the year. John Strausner says Clay Holmes seriously changed his game around with us. They mentioned it on the broadcast that he had begun this trend with the Pirates. Now, I don't know. I didn't see him pitch at all with the Pirates. I never saw him pitch a single time until he came to the Yankees. All I've seen is good stuff. All I've seen is a heavy sinker in the upper 90s and good control. I think he's got something like 25 strikeouts and 1 walk. I mean, one of the knocks on him with Pittsburgh was that his command was not good. But whatever tweak they've made, whatever approach he's taken now, being more aggressive with the sinker in the zone, I don't know what it is. He's got just filthy stuff. And, I'm loving that the Yankees have multiple guys in the bullpen that can throw sinkers. it may be too late to save this season, but the way Mike King has come around, and he had that freak injury, but, let's assume he's healthy next year. You got a couple of guys throwing sinkers out there that should keep, the ball in the ballpark a little bit more. Let's see here. Ashlyn says, hopefully good things from here. We'll see. We still got, 11 games left. There's still plenty of more pain and suffering that could be had. We'll see how it goes. Ronnie with the super chat says, just booked my flight hotel to New York. Yanks are hosting the wild card game. Ronnie, the Dono legend. I hope you got refundable tickets. That's all I'm going to say about that. John Strausner says he looks like Britain when he was good, assuming Clay Holmes or Mike King. They're both throwing really, really hard with a good sink. I think Mike King touched 98 miles an hour, 99 miles an hour maybe the other day. He's throwing harder this year. Damian Green says, would naming a captain help with leadership? Appreciate the dono. That's a great question. I think, Derek Jeter was already kind of the de facto captain. He was a leader in the clubhouse when he was named captain. I don't think he really expected or sought to be named captain, but it was something that George Steinbrenner wanted to do. I think the team was struggling, and I believe it happened while they were in Cincinnati playing an interleague game, and just kind of stunned me. But the team, I remember, did turn it around after that. I don't remember the records. It's a bit far back, but and Don Mattingly being named captain happened before I was really that into baseball. I mean, it was around 1990 or so. It could. I mean, it might change things up, but I don't think it causes you to hit better with runners in scoring position. Ashlyn says, come on, hold some hope. I do have hope. Obviously, I'm a diehard Yankees fan, and I'm rooting hard for them. But I don't, somebody asked the other day, is it better just to lose out rather than, make it to the wild card game and lose? And part of me would rather not make the playoffs than lose in the playoffs. Because I think if you don't make the playoffs, at least that's a sign to the organization. And they probably already got the sign, But let's say that the Yankees do make the playoffs. Let's say that they make the wild card game and they win the wild card game. And then you get a couple of good starts in the division series. You happen to win the division series against the Rays, who you've played tough at times this year. Now you're in the ALCS and you have an excuse to do nothing. You say, hey, we played for the American League Championship. Again, this is all ifs and buts, candy and nuts. We'd all have Christmas every day or whatever. I don't think the Yankees are going to get that far. I think if the Yankees make the wild card, they have a shot to win with Garrett Cole on the mound. But I don't see him getting past the division series. That's kind of the position I've held for about the last month or so. Jeffrey Elwood says Severino was in the bullpen tonight. Unfortunately, he did not pitch. I was hoping the Yankees would put up more runs so that we would get a chance to see Severino. I'm really, really curious to see what he's got after all this time. Everything that we saw looked good. Like his side sessions, his slider had some depth. It wasn't just lateral. It was breaking hard down. He could be an X factor in whether or not you make the wild card. And once you get to the playoffs, really, it's a crapshoot. All of the pressure from this long season, goes away if you win that wild card game. Let's say you destroy whoever you're playing in the wild card game. Just blow them out. Then everybody's got confidence going into a division series. So there's your little hope. I think it could happen. Unhinged says, season is far from over. Let's see. Pete says he's just ready for the offseason to hear that Boone has been fired and hopefully Cashman as well. I wouldn't hold your breath on Cashman, but I think that if the Yankees don't make it to at least the ALCS, I think Boone is probably done for. He's thrown a couple of his players under the bus in recent weeks. He called out Gary Sanchez. He called out Gleyber Torres. The other day, there was that pop-up. You remember Gary Sanchez was waiting underneath the pop-up, and it dropped. And it was a tough play. He was fighting the sun. It was not an easy play. He should have made the play. But after the game, given the opportunity to comment on it, Aaron Boone says, You got to make that play. Yeah, you got to make that play. He could have said that was a tough play. Gary does a great job. He works hard. He's one of the best at pop-ups. You could have said a million other things to kind of boost his confidence. And he said, nope, got to make that play. To me, that was a sign. That was a sign that Aaron Boone is kind of a little less cautious with his speech. He's not biting his tongue as much. And he's benched Gleyber Torres. He moved him off of shortstop. So, Not So Family Fun Vision says, I don't get this Cashman hate. I'll do my best to explain it for you. And I don't think it's hate. I don't know if hate is the right word. I mean, some people, I guess, probably irrationally hate, but we're passionate fans, right? We want our team to succeed. And I'll tell you why Cashman gets crap. Not So Family Fun Vision. It's because Cashman took over in 1998 when the Yankees were riding high on the dynasty built by Gene Michael. Cool Rodriguez says, just when I thought they were out, I was out, they pulled me back in. Great Godfather quote. Anyway, Cashman takes over in 98. They win in 98, 99, 2000. You can credit him with making some moves along the way in there. He goes out and he gets David Justice for Ricky LeDay. He gets Chuck Knobloch for Eric Milton. He made some good moves, right? But 2001 guys retire. O'Neill retires, Brocious retires. And from there, it's kind of been Cashman fighting with the Tampa faction for about 5 or 6 years, till about 2007, right? So I'm not gonna blame Cashman for 2001 through 2006. The dynasty was ending. You expect a little bit of a down period. But since 2007, Cashman has been in full control of this organization. And the only time the Yankees have won a World Series is 2009. And the only reason they did that is because they spent Hal's money. George's money at that time. Still George's bucks at that point. George went out a champion. Let's not forget that. But they go out and they sign CeCe Sabathia. They sign Mark Teixeira. They trade for Nick Swisher. By the way, nice trade by Brian Cashman. I don't remember who he traded for Nick Swisher. I don't remember who they traded for Nick Swisher. But, that was a good season. A-Rod comes through in the playoffs. And you still had Mariano Rivera, But really, since that championship team failed to repeat in 2010, the team has not really been the same as they were for the previous 15, 20 years. They haven't been the Yankees. I mean, you had several years in there without making the playoffs. You've come up short a couple times, 2019, 2017. Now, granted, 2017, they overperformed. But, he's had a lot of chances to build a team, and he's got a large budget to work with. And the Yankees have not had many parades. They have not had a parade since 2009. And I think that's why he gets a little bit of hate. And hate's the wrong word. That's why passionate fans, like the people, there's 246 people in this chat right now. After a 4-3 win on September 20th against a team that has 95 losses. These are the hardest core of hardcore fans in my chat right now. This is my Yankees family. These guys love the Yankees. And I wouldn't say that they hate Cashman, but I'd say their patience has run thin with Cashman. It's run thin. You had all the money in the world to sign Bryce Harper or Manny Machado, you pass. I mean, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Road to wildcard game, sweep the Rangers, win 2 of the 3 the rest of the way. Shane, that would probably get it done. Jeffrey Elwood has a good quote. He says, they looked hard at Raul Ibanez, before hiring Boone. He'll be the manager next year unless Boone gets the series this year. So Ibanez is currently working for Major League Baseball. He's in New York City. So I could see that. I don't want to rule out Carlos Beltran. I know that he gets some crap because of the whole cheating scandal thing. He was somewhat tied up in that a little bit. I'm still not entirely clear on his role. I was not that interested in his role at that point. But he clearly knew about it and didn't say anything. So that's a mark against him. But AJ Hinch managed that team. He knew about it, and he's back managing. I think that Carlos Beltran is a good baseball guy, but again, do you want to give a rookie manager the keys to the Yankees? That didn't work out so great last time. Steve-O says, hate Machado's attitude. Glad we didn't get him. You know, I'm glad you said that because Machado used to be a guy who didn't have a great attitude. But everything I've seen of him lately suggests to me that he's matured. And I want to remind people who hate on young players, we're all human beings, right? Your brain doesn't finish developing until you're in your mid-20s, 25, 26 years old. You don't become who you are until you're well into your 30s, at least. And I can't speak beyond that because I've never been there. I don't know what it's like to be 40 or 50 or 60. I hope I get there. We'll see. But the way the season's going, I don't know. The ticker with all the Swedish fish I've been eating. Look, I know that people change a lot, and I never want to assign someone a permanent mark against them for behavior that happens in their 20s. I've known too many people that were jerks in their 20s. I was a jerk in my 20s. Still a jerk sometimes. But, you know, I've seen a lot more signs of maturity out of him. The other day when he was yelling at Fernando Tatis Jr., he was saying it's about the team. He understands that concept. He called him out. He wasn't afraid to call out the biggest superstar on their team, one of the biggest superstars in baseball. He wasn't afraid to call it out. John Strassner, thank you for the love all season. Appreciate you and your channel. Well, I thank you. I appreciate you, John. I appreciate everybody who's been a part of this. Tony the Bull says reason for the gloves. I assume you mean this glove. This glove, no glove on this. I have really bad carpal tunnel. It comes from constantly, like, I do video editing for my actual job, but I also do a ton of work on this channel. I'm basically editing video all day long or typing. And I write the duration of the game. I write my recap that I read, that monologue that I open up the game with every time, or the recap with. So my hands are suffering from pretty bad arthritis. And I've also develop a lot of things that you guys haven't seen. There's a lot of stuff that ends up on the cutting room floor. I've got 4 or 5 different episodes of Top 5 ready to go as soon as the season ends. So I've been working hard. And so these are compression gloves. They keep my hands from swelling. And I tell anybody, like, people always ask me, you know, how did I build my channel so quick? And, you know, what are some tips? Only tip I can tell you is do the work. Get better. Like, work as hard as you can. And don't let anybody outwork you. That's been my philosophy. Let's see. Ashlyn says, is it me or does Tim's look bored and over it? You know, over it maybe. I don't want to say bored. I don't want to assign an emotion to somebody that, you know, because I can't. His face is a portal to his consciousness, but it is not his direct consciousness. So I don't really know what he's feeling. I think he's feeling frustrated. I think he knows the offense is not performing as well as we all thought it would. You know, we kept hearing all year the Yankees are going to bust out of it. We're having good at bats. We're close. Well, you were close all year, but you never really got there. You had that 13-game win streak, but that was with a bunch of guys on the IL. So, you know, Pete says Tim sees the writing on the wall. I think that you're probably correct. I think that's probably an astute assumption.
Yes, I agree.
Tim Burns says, I would have to agree with your take on Cashman. If we do not win it in the next couple of years, I would blame it all on Cashman. Look, it's a team organization. I mean, it's a team game and it's an organizational game. I mean, the entire organization, everything from the scouts to the people advising Cashman. You know, there's that saying, no man is an island. Cashman isn't, you know, all by himself. Obviously, the buck stops with Hal Steinbrenner, but below that, everybody has advisors and assistants, you know. I think that he could have probably done a better job with the budgets he has had. Let's see. Gio says, if you could get drunk with one Yankee from history, I don't even need to finish the sentence. Who would it be and why? Love the show, bud. Gio, Billy Martin is the only guy I would choose. Billy Martin, because he was a famous drunk. He was probably one of the greatest drunks in baseball history. So thank you for the dono. And then Ronnie with the huge dono. I appreciate that. Says, your show gives me Mike Francesa vibes. Keep up the great work. I'm glad you said that. Appreciate that.
Ronnie, the dono legend.
Mike Francesa is my favorite radio host of all time besides Howard Stern. Shout out to Howard, Robin, and Baba Booey. But yeah, look, it's been a long year. I have my good days and I have my bad days, but I never try and make this about me. I realized a long time ago it's about you guys. It's about getting your opinions out there. I just try and play MC, I guess. This to me is the first project I've ever had in my life that's ever really become anything, and I'm still anxious to see what it can become, and I'm not going anywhere. Mike Bragg says Mickey Mantle was the biggest drunk. Mickey and Billy Martin were great friends and got drunk together a lot. And I'll end this on a great story. There was a hey now, by the way, Super V, hey now. There was a great story. So Mickey Mantle and Billy Martin, they want to go hunting, all right? And they want to go hunting on this guy's property. I don't remember the guy's name, but Mickey decides he's going to play a little trick on Billy Martin. So he goes up to knock on the door and asks the guy if he can go hunting. And the guy says, sure, but I need you to shoot this old mule I've got. I've had him for a long time. I love the guy. I can't shoot this mule. So if you shoot that mule, you can go hunting on my property. And so Mantle says, I'm going to play a little joke on him. So he tells Billy Martin, hey, he said we can't go hunting. I'm going to shoot his mule. And so Billy's like, no. And so Mickey shoots the mule, kills it. And then he hears bang, bang, bang. And apparently Billy Martin shot 3 of his geese or something. 3 of his chickens. Oh, man. Fun times. All right, guys. Have a great night. Yankees win this one. One more time from Mr. John Sterling. And by the way, we do have one more sneak in from Ariadna. Finally got to Dono. What do you think would happen if the Yankees rebuild everything? Players, coach, dumb philosophy, etc. All right, I'll take this one just because it's fun to talk about, and then we'll wrap it up. No more donos, please. If they decide to rebuild, I think they're going to rebuild around the pitching. Judge, the pitching is really good, and then you got Judge, and you've got Stanton. I don't think Stanton's going anywhere. I don't think it would be so much a rebuild as a retool. Coaches, I could see them going with an Ibanez. I personally would rather see them go with a Showalter type, a tenured baseball man. I also really like Willie Randolph. I know he doesn't get his name dropped out there a lot, but Willie is one of the smartest baseball men alive. If you've ever heard an interview with Willie Randolph, he is terrific. I think you'll see new coaches next year. I think they like Phil Nevin, but a lot of guys thrown out at home this year. I think you'll see them prioritize interchangeability in the lineup. Guys who can kind of play all over the field, kind of like LeMahieu can. I think LeMahieu will remain with the team. Not sure what's going to happen with guys like Gleyber Torres. I think Gary Sanchez would probably be gone if the Yankees decide to rebuild a little bit. I think Luke Voit would probably be gone. I'm sure you can get something for him. But it's tough. I'm going to have to do an entire video on that. I'm planning some more episodes of the Frieze. When the offseason gets around, I'm not going to be able to just do recent highlights because there won't be any recent highlights on the Frieze. So I'll have to do it in kind of like a more, almost a MLB Network style presentation where I have like the topics and some other things going on. So I think that will be my first episode of the offseason will be like, what do the Yankees do? So I appreciate that, Ariadna. I will see everybody tomorrow. I can't remember if I did the Yankees win thing, but let's do it one more time.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
See you guys later. Special shout out to the Patreon supporters and anyone else who has supported this channel. If you enjoyed this video, give it the old thumbs up and subscribe for more Yankees content year-round. If you really enjoyed it, check out the Frieze. It's the official podcast of this channel. Or pick up some swag from the Teespring store, link in the description. Thanks for watching.